Welcome to the iPhone Film Festival. Anybody here from last year, out of curiosity? So you guys know what to expect. Whoever wasn't here, you guys are in for a treat. What the iPhone Film Festival is basically what it sounds like. A lot of films filmed on an iPhone. We're going to show music videos, films, cinematography, all excellent stuff. The opening music video is going to be, Gia was going to perform, but she had a scheduling conflict, so she wasn't able to make it. But we've got Keith, the filmmaker, who's here from Florida. So we're going to start with the music video. We're going to go to Best Film, Runner-Up, Cinematography, and then we'll go to Grand Prize. Then after that, I've got a super, super treat for you guys. So welcome.
I looked into your innocent child in New Orleans, a simple girl from simple means. Walked the rails, rode a thumb. She hitched a ride with everyone.
Merde.
Guys. So everything that they had in common was this guy. They all used iPhones. It went from a guy using a crayon to put together a music video to doing an actual film that made us laugh to following somebody's trip from New York to San Francisco to Vegas. So all they had in common was this, something that's sitting in our back pocket and we use it for text messages. Use it to create something brilliant like we've been looking at. So now we're going to go to the grand prize winner. Those are, by the way, the winners of iPhone Film Festival 4. We're going to see the grand prize winner. It's a filmmaker who was unable to make it. He's from South Korea. Brilliant music video, no dialogue, but he will capture you. He's got, I think, one of the best shots that he's got. He's mounted the iPhone on a remote control helicopter, and you guys will love it. So let's watch the grand prize winner. You guys like it? If you guys go to our website, iPhoneFF.com, you'll actually see the behind the scenes of how they did that. I call it a helicopter. I don't even think they're called helicopters anymore. The hovering, it's got multiple propellers. But they've mounted the iPhone on it and literally, circling it around. I don't know if I would take a chance of doing that over the ocean, but they did it. Now, last year, for those of you who were here, I kind of promised that this year we're going to do something even better, not just iPhone films. I kind of regretted it 2 days ago because we were kind of editing up until the last point, but let me give you a history. Today our film is going to be Departure. Departure is a multi-film project. So about a year ago, the idea has always been in my head. I've been thinking about using social media, Twitters, Facebooks. We're all interlinked one way or another. I'm guessing somebody, if they took a Facebook image somewhere on the other side of the planet, has seen my picture or has seen these films. So I was thinking, well, why don't we use this social media to create something brilliant that we normally couldn't do as an individual filmmaker? So with the idea, I went to my co-founder, fiance, Renata Renew, and kind of pitched her idea, because we've got so many projects, and she said, great idea, but I don't think we can do it. Let it marinate a little more, and we decided to go with it. So the next step was getting a script. Went to my friend Jimmy Bortos in Chicago. He helped me write the first one we worked on, and he thought it was a great idea, but he knew the challenges, but we worked with it. So here's the idea. As a filmmaker with limited or no budget, if I'm going to make a film, and the film is based in Belarus, France, and USA, can I do it? Financially, no. So I got one of two options. Either trick the shots to make it believe like this shot was in Belarus or this shot was in France, or find team members within different countries. Because I was blessed to have the iPhone Film Festival, I constantly get submissions, and I can see brilliant work when I see it. So one of which was from Maria and Lena, who are here from Belarus today. They flew down right there. Director and director of photography, excellent work. It took a while for me to convince them first. So months of going back on Vimeo, email messages, and then trying to describe what I wanted to do in an email was very difficult. They came aboard. Then there was Chris in France, kind of pitched him the idea. He came aboard. Now we kind of put it all together. Started shooting in November, still editing up until, I think, 2 days ago. I got the final edit today. You're going to see a film that was done in 3 different countries, Belarus, USA, and France, all working. The only communications we've had is via Skype, email, or, well, actually, that's it, Skype, email, and Facebook. Yesterday was the first day I met the directors from Belarus. So mind you, we've created a film with never having physical contact with anybody. With that said, the opening scene, because we worked in teams, and one thing that we did is, for example, there's a special effects scene, and Belarus said, well, we don't have the resources to do it, and that's how we worked as a team. We passed it on to our France team, who then passed it on to his Spain team, Chris in Spain, and he did the special effects. Long story short, the final edit came to the US. We weren't able to finish the film. We're going to finish it within 2 weeks, so if you guys come to iPhoneFF.com, you'll see the ending of it. The beginning part, the audio may be a little bit not perfect. Bear with it. We get better as we go along. And then I need to add one more thing. The final person that came into play that turned this movie into a magical thing was Hank. I think he's somewhere down there. Hank Shockley, who was a legend of his own time. I mean, Beethoven of my time is Hank Shockley. He's influenced me especially, or all of us, indirectly or directly with his music in one way or another. So Hank was, he came aboard, I think, November or so. He was working throughout the holidays to get us a score last week or so. We were working. So it's not fully finished. Watch the film. Come back in a couple of weeks. We'll have the finished product. But enjoy. We're going to have questions and answers afterwards.
dare you to do something.
Oh, God.
What is it? I dare you to snatch that scarf Deanna's always wearing.
Why?
Because it's a dare, you chicken.
She's calling Here, you guys. But if I do this, you have to do my dares too. Yeah, sure. You suck at dares anyway.
Hello there.
Hello, is Deanna home?
Yes, she is. Let me go get her for you.
Todd, what do you want?
I'm really sorry I took your scarf, Deanna. I had no idea that your mom had sewed it for you.
It was knitted, genius.
Here's some money, like in case you needed it to wash your scarf or something.
I don't want your money.
What'd that boy want, sweetie?
He was returning my scarf.
Did he borrow it?
Something like that.
That's incredible. God, you really have a gift. You gonna be an artist?
No, I have other career aspirations.
Really?
You're definitely going to have to pick up some slack from me today. I didn't get much sleep last night.
Ooh, it's for your wife.
At least I'll have a smile on my face. So what's the MO on these guys?
Banks has only one eyebrow. You come across him, you better be ready. He is a cowboy, always working his rep. Tone Deaf is a scrawny fake 140 pounds soaking wet. Caesar and Knuckles could be a handful, but if they see us with firepower, we shouldn't have any problems.
You live for this shit, don't you?
You don't like what you're doing?
Oh, I love what I'm doing. I love being a cop. I'll tell you one thing for sure. I don't bring it home with me. How do you think I managed to keep married so long?
I want to earn my paycheck.
There's more to it than that. Bigger mysteries in this world than which gang member blew away which gang member. I'll tell you one thing for sure. We got job security. Crime ain't going nowhere.
Neither am I.
Well, then let's roll.
That's them.
Adam 11 and David 44 going to be code 6.
That's Rochester.
No, we're waiting for backup.
You're my backup.
Here, lock. Quickly. Ponytail in the warehouse. Warehouse. Adam 811, 11015, alleyway behind 1500 Devonshire, David 44. He's heading into the warehouse, needs cover. Got weapons on you? Yeah. Yeah.
Hands in the air! Hands in the air!
You gotta be kidding.
Hands in the air! Who the hell are you?
Glenn Starks.
What are you doing here?
It's a long story. You have to get me out of here before you call us in.
I can do that. Officer 726 need an ambulance at the alley of Crestwood and Harper.
We will be a lot better off if you let me get out of here before I have to explain who I am.
I'm sorry, but you are going to have to wait for the ambulance.
I have people who can take care of this.
There is no way I'm gonna let you leave. Regulations. You are going to have to answer some questions.
I always loved it about you. By the book, never compromising.
You know me?
Deanna Cashel, daughter of Walter and Allison Cashel, both deceased. Good people, just a bit unlucky. You were raised by your grandparents, Sally and Will. He's a fisherman, through and through. Too conventional? You went to Westmont High, where Tommy Barton asked you out to the homecoming dance while he was already set to take Nancy Blythe.
Who are you?
Your guardian angel. I explain everything if you just get me out of here.
I can't. I'm sorry.
It's ironic. The girl I'm protecting is the one shooting me.
Glenn, this is Captain Simmons. He's one of the good guys, so you better be candid with him.
Your gun checks out. Your license is good. You're untouchable. So you want to tell us what you were doing there?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Look, I'm doing you a favor, Mr. Starks. You're in the clear. Just answer one question. As far as anybody else is concerned, you're nothing but a good Samaritan. Just tell me what you were doing there, and I'll get out of your hair. Or you can remain silent, and I can make things incredibly complicated for you.
I was hired to be Diana's bodyguard. It's an elaborate story.
Who hired you to be Diana's bodyguard?
Andrei Novikov. He knew your father. Briefly. They met in Paris 16 years ago.
I really need to get on flight home.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cashul. I already told you. We are completely booked. And we already have a standby list.
What do you say really in French?
Vraiment. But I understand English very well.
If you did, you'd sympathize. Sorry. Maybe that wasn't called for, but I really have to get on flight home. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow. It's so important. You have no idea.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cashul. There's nothing I could do.
Listen, I work in advertising. I could make this work for your company. Believe me, I'm good. They wouldn't have sent me all the way to Paris if I wasn't.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Checking in?
Yes. Andrei Novikov.
Your dreams were nobody else.
No, it's okay, man. I'll call you tomorrow. But don't forget to put the card underneath the door. So she read it first thing tomorrow morning. Okay. I think so.
How old is your daughter?
9. Going 16.
She's a rebellious soul?
No, not really. She is tenacious. We raised her slightly differently from other parents. We have different philosophy.
You're a liberal.
I don't really believe in labels. We try to teach her the truth without getting to preaching. You have to let them be kids. But at the same time, I couldn't live with myself if I didn't explain to her how things are.
I'm curious. Give me an example.
Well, for example, I won't let her hate people she doesn't know simply because TV tells us to hate certain people.
Are we talking about communism versus capitalism?
That's one example, I guess.
I feel the same way. I could never understand how hundreds of millions of people had to be herded into classifications of government.
Yeah. Just because I live amongst a particular company doesn't mean I come with the label.
And you have influenced your daughter in this direction?
I just found out facts and try to inspire her to think for herself. There is only one thing that I stress over and over.
What's that?
That she treats all living things with kindness and respect.
It's amazing.
What is?
Don't know how to say this without sounding hockey.
Like just shoot for the moon.
You are the most refreshing man I've spoken to in some time.
Thank you.
I mean it. I'm so sorry you didn't get to board the plane. You're going to miss her birthday. That's very important to you.
I hadn't planned on making back in time. We wrapped up the project earlier. You see, it's her first birthday without her mom. We lost her 8 months ago during a terrible act of violence. May I have said too much there?
No, that's quite all right. I'm sorry about your situation, for your loss.
I still feel bad. I mean, you look affected. What are you doing?
I can wait. You have to be with your daughter.
I can't take that from you.
Why not?
Won't it affect your schedule, your family?
No, not at all. I will not offer it up until I knew it was okay.
Really?
Really, I insist. I won't take no for an answer.
You have no idea what this means to me.
Yes, I do.
May I have not enough cash on me,
No,
but...
that's not important right now. Go to the agent and straighten out this modification.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean it.
Okay, go to the agent.
Опа! Давай. Оп.
Давай речь.
Оп. Опа.
Самолет Андрея разбился.
Что ты? Ну не грусти.
Пока ничего не нашли.
Смотри. Опа. Не грусти.
Компания будет искать черные ящики. Давай подключай всех. Пусть ищет и портфель. В общем, делай, что хочешь. А бриллианты надо найти. Ты меня понял?
Monsieur Novikov, c'est la police, là. Vous pouvez ouvrir, s'il vous plaît? On a des questions à vous poser. Monsieur Novikov, can you please open the door?
Звонил Саша.
Ну?
Среди обломков самолета нашего портфеля не было. Он перепроверил списки. Есть шанс, что Андрея вообще не было в самолете.
Найдите его. У вас неделя.
Я понял.
И у тебя неделя.
So you did not know this Walter Cashel?
No, I did not. Okay, let's save some time here. I know all about the police routine. You guys keep asking me the same question to see if I slip up. I didn't know the man until I met him this afternoon.
It must have been an amazing meeting, since you gave him your flight ticket free of charge.
How long are you gonna keep me here?
As long as we're allowed. I'm sure you can appreciate our obligation. You and a perfect stranger an expensive airline ticket, and that airline crashes. Your affiliation in Russia doesn't exactly paint you as a good Samaritan.
Okay. I'll tell you why I gave my ticket to Walter. Then I can live the agony over once more.
Igor, наверное, в тебе.
Алло.
Саша, это я.
Андрей?
Да.
Ты где, черт возьми?
Я до сих пор во Франции.
Ты что там делаешь?
Вдоль Градской, извините. Уверен, знаете, что мой самолет разбился.
Да, мы знаем.
Что не так? У тебя есть странный голос.
Ты должен срочно вернуться домой. Немедленно.
Что случилось?
Василий решил, что ты украл бриллианты. Просто возвращайся, мы все уладим. Просто возвращайся. Все будет хорошо.
Понял. Продолжайте. И что случилось, Саша? Значит, Андрей вернулся.
Его моя семья.
So as you guys saw, the audio definitely needs work. It's got to go through our sound engineer. 2 more weeks, it should be spotless. So we had 2 options, either not to show it or show it the way it was. We had so many people, like Saudi Margarita from LA drove out with family, Belarus, New York. I think I have Jimmy's sister somewhere in here from Chicago. And we made a commit to Macworld, so here we are. Editing up until 7 a.m. today. This is what we have. 2 more weeks. The ending is unbelievable. You guys will love the ending, so come back and watch the ending. So right now we're going to have some question and answers with the filmmakers. Saudi, Lena, Maria, Renata, Hank. Everybody come on up. Scotty from director from LA. Welcome. You know where you're at, right? Yeah. And we have the mastermind, Hank, coming up. And a lot of Hank's scores, I think, was not, within 2 weeks, it's going to be perfect, so definitely come on up. Oh, we forgot. Our producer from Belarus couldn't physically make it out here, so he made a body double and he made a t-shirt, so he's kind of here with us. He actually helped out on the equipment. If you guys saw the crane shot, so he's got this huge crane with this tiny iPhone, and that's Sergey's equipment and everything. Let me help out. No problem. Okay. So I think the mics are set up on each corner, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to come on up. Any questions? Anybody? Oh, Phil's here too. No?
Is that focus, Phil?
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you be able to come to the mic so we can hear? Thank you.
Great movie. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you going to do distribution, or where will it be available?
We haven't gone too deep into it. The whole idea of departure, because it's the story itself, it's continuous. So you've got a storyline within the US, you've got a storyline within France, you've got a storyline within Belarus. We want to do one of two things, either continuation with doing Departure Part 2, Part 3. Ideally, we want to do it like a series, kind of like a CSI type of a thing, where you've got CSI New York. Because Belarus, the story doesn't end there. It's very short. It's an untold story on where the connection between Andreas and the mobsters come in. France, the same thing. US, the same thing. So once we've completed the project, within 2 more weeks, we'll get it cleaned. It's going to start hitting a lot of festivals around. After that, we're going to start looking into distribution and creating the Departure series, Departure project. Yes, sir? I'm sorry? We don't know yet. I think the next stop may be the Beverly Hills Film Festival, then there's Europe, there's Belarus, several film festivals all around, so we just got to figure out where we want to go. Any other questions? Yes, sir?
I presume there are a lot of disadvantages over using the iPhone as a camera. Are there advantages as well over regular?
So his question was if there's any disadvantages with the iPhone. There's obviously advantages. The advantages, lightweight, under $1,000 you can have camera, you can have multiple cameras, and it's not going to affect it. For an advantage, I can bring up one scene, which was a nightmare scene. You guys didn't see it. That's the cemetery scene. Within a couple of weeks, you'll see it. So we had to do a reshoot. We shot the ending scene, which was at the cemetery. We did a reshoot because Philip, who does Smart Focus, he was constantly working with us, and he's getting prototypes where you can attach, full-blown Canon lenses, Nikon lenses to this unit. So when he got us, I think we went through 3 prototypes. The last prototype was perfect, so we had to reshoot. The day we shot, it rained the day before, so the cemetery, LAX, I guess, rerouted their planes to land directly over our heads. The week before, it was a plane maybe every 2 hours. That specific week, I think it was every 3 minutes.
I mean, between the airplanes and the mariachi trucks and the police sirens, it was not very advantageous.
So we anticipated a 2-hour shoot, and it turned into 6, 7. So to get to the advantage part, our final scene was where Renata and Steve load their guns behind the squad car. Steve, to get his squad car, mind you, were very limited budget, very limited resources, so that was the only day he could make it. If we lost him then, we wouldn't have had that shot. We had to get, I think we got there at 4 p.m.-ish. We're losing light fast. If it was any other camera, just to take it and set up, we would have probably not had that shot. But because it was an iPhone, it was an immediate quick setup. I didn't even tripod it, I had it handheld, and we were good to go. Let me get to the disadvantages, and then, so the disadvantages, lighting. It needs lights. And I think you can see it in a lot of shots. When you don't have enough lighting, you get a lot of grain, a lot of noise, which we were blessed to have Red Giant give us software like denoiser and whatnot, and it helped us out.
Yeah, there were a couple of shots that we had to turn from night to day in order to make up for that disadvantage.
Yes, so obviously we're with the can you use the mic so they can hear as well? It's right behind you.
You can just grab it.
Or just grab it and pass
How
it.
about using a DSLR? They're not that expensive either.
Good question. So obviously I'm with the iPhone Film Festival. I have to use an iPhone. But again, it goes to the whole advantage factor. For me, I'll bring up one example where the iPhone worked and no other camera would have worked. So we're at a warehouse. We've got only 2 hours to do our shots. We're limited to 2 hours. We hit a point where my battery's completely drained and my hard drive's completely, I have to download the footage to reshoot. First thing I did was, who has an iPhone? I think we went through your iPhone. Then I think Jade and Margarita, so everybody has an iPhone. All of a sudden our crew, we're swapping iPhones, so it's like popping one iPhone, shooting, taking it out, the next one. So those are the advantages that you're not going to get. Who's going to walk around with multiple DSLRs? But an iPhone, it's in my pocket. I'm guessing 80% of the people here have iPhones. So advantages versus disadvantages. Yes? I'm sorry, can you go to the mic so we can hear you? It's right next to you.
Will you also utilize talent across the multiple countries as you did with the filming?
Yeah.
Insofar as the writing of the script?
I'm like continuation or?
Yes, you said it'll be ongoing, so it'll be new
of course.
writing.
So, I mean, if you looked at the film, the whole side of the Belarus, there's the mobsters. There's a whole side behind them. You don't know where they're going. In France, there's a whole side there. So there's a lot of talent, and we were blessed to find, like everybody you see here, we were really blessed to find this talent. The way that I look at things, and I think Renata agrees, that if we find great talent, why would you even think of replacing it or looking for someone else? Now that we've got this talent, and we work together like a fine-tuned machine. Mind you, we met them yesterday. We spoke yesterday. Hank is today. Yeah. We haven't seen them face-to-face. Everything was via Facebook, email, video conference. We haven't even had a video conference. It's been voice and emails. So if we were able to pull this off just over that communication, we're golden. Now that we've got this face-to-face, it's to take it to the next level. No. So each country, I know you're going to, so the question was each country writes their own script. No. Jimmy Borto writes the whole script. And when I worked with Jimmy, he's a really good friend of mine, and he's an excellent scriptwriter. So to write a script, in my opinion, and I've pushed him to the limits. He probably hates me. But to write a script, it's probably easy to do. To be able to tweak the script, and I'm talking about on the fly, if you can do that, then you're a good scriptwriter. So there was a lot of scenes that Belarus disagreed a lot, which was great, like naming conventions or scenes have to be different. And Jimmy was there, and I think we had a lot of talks with all of us, and Jimmy was kind of blown away. We were talking about Hank, and he was like, did you just hear all the questions he asked just to compose a score? And so all this talent comes together, and so the script writing is one person writing it, but we all have input, whether it's our composer to our directors to even the actors. I think we had a scene with the kids where there was profanity and they didn't want to use it. We had to rewrite the script I think I emailed Jimmy at 10 p.m. I said, Jim, and he's, a couple hour difference. I said, sorry, you have to rewrite this today because we've got to shoot tomorrow. He rewrote it within an hour or two. So everybody kind of plays a part in it, but the structure is there, and everybody kind of contributes to it.
Was it iPhone 5 or 4S?
4S.
Okay.
Yeah,
better low light performance with the 5.
Yeah, well, the 5, the opening scenes where I had establishing shots, I did that 2 weeks ago. And I used the 5, and I actually used Philips, because yours doesn't support the 5 yet, or the one I had didn't. So I had to put like duct tape in it just to make sure that the iPhone 5 fits in it. But mainly everything you see is 4S.
What was your audio setup? How were you doing dual system sound, or going into the
audio? Well, what did you guys use for audio?
For audio?
Mm-hmm. External mics and dual.
And then like microphone like this and
Zoom.
Zoom, yeah, Zoom.
Okay.
And we have a good sound editor, so he made all work on this part. I shouldn't think about this.
Were you recording directly into the phone?
External.
A separate sound.
Yeah. So if you
recording to what kind of recorder were you
I'm not sure on the recorder that our guy used. I'm not sure on.
Yeah, I mean it was the standard recorder that sound guys use. We had lavs as well as boom mics depending on the scene. In some cases, like in the police car, we had to have him right in the back, crouched down with the boom. But it was separate sound, and then it was later sunk in the editing process.
What was your budget like for the film?
Well, what's that word? Budget?
Budget?
Yeah. Very limited.
The term we used was movie magic.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah. We were very blessed to have a lot of people contribute their time. Hank, very busy man. I was blown away when he agreed to jump on the project. We have Mr. Sergey behind us. He donated all his equipment, but we had very limited budget. The amount that we had, we had our executive producers that contributed into everything, and actually your wife was doing catering for us. So.
Yeah, my wife did the catering, because a crew is nothing without coffee and their muffins. And so I'm very thankful to my wife for months, and then.
Yeah, so it's all doable. If you've got the drive to do it, you can do it. Yes.
2 questions. First, kind of going on the budget question, did you find because you were using an iPhone, you could easily sneak it in places and get a couple shots without having to get the proper stuff?
Well, the airport scene was probably a good example of that. The one thing that's probably another advantage that goes back to your question is when you take out an iPhone and you start filming, because as long as your sound guys are in a far away or a distance where you don't look like as one big team, people are kind of used to it. They're already used to seeing people using their iPhones. So for them to be in an airport, I don't know if you noticed the people walking in behind them, they weren't extras. They were actual people at the airport, but nobody paid attention because they saw, just a guy with an iPhone, no big deal. So yes, you can get into places and get away with shots that you normally wouldn't. So those are like all extra advantages. Would I work with iPhones again? Of course. I mean, it's the difficult factor, I think, pushes all filmmakers to the limit. If you can pass the difficult factors with the lighting and everything else, the advantages, I think, outweigh it. And, if we were to film it on Panavisions or Reds, would I do it? Of course I would. But it's very difficult to do it with an iPhone, and I think you get some sort of a satisfaction when you look at it and say, yeah, we did it. It was done.
And then conceptually, I noticed it's shot with an iPhone, but I didn't see a single cell phone used in the whole thing. Everyone was using pay phones or a rotary phone, or there were like a landline ringing somewhere. I wondered if that was a purposeful thing, or?
Yeah, well, again, what you saw was a very rough cut. So you guys were you're like our team at this point. You worked with us. You saw a cut that nobody would see, and nor would I ever show it unless we were in this circumstance. We're supposed to put a timeline there. So that's in the 90s when it starts.
Oh, okay.
So there is cell phones, but for the most part it's payphones. So when you see the next cut, a lot of work that Hank did is not properly placed or it's missing. When you see the final cut and everything is cleared out, and then the ending is unbelievable. You guys got to see the ending. So.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Two things to jump on the getting into sneak shots. Did you guys do model releases and the legal mumbo jumbo?
We tried.
Oh yeah?
But we just couldn't do it. It was beyond what we were, as far as budget-wise was concerned. Okay. So the cemetery shot that you guys don't see it here, within a couple of weeks, we just took our iPhones and started shooting. We went on a Sunday where, the security wasn't there, and people looked at it, but again, they looked at it like, oh, it's an iPhone, and our sound guy was a bit away, so we didn't kind of look like a full entourage of a team.
Are you worried that might come back to you later if you start making money off of this?
It could, yeah. But we'll, at this point as a creator, a filmmaker, you just do whatever it takes to make the film. If you start thinking about all the boundaries, I don't think you'll ever get past making the film.
My main question too is, what app did you use? Just the native camera app video, or do you guys have a favorite app for video capture?
I think we all use Filmmake Pro.
Yep.
Filmmake Pro. Filmmake Pro.
Filmmake Pro?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I think once we were done shooting, he came up with an update, which I wish he would have had it during shooting. It gives you a thing of when your hard drive space is full and when your battery's life. There was a point where we were just shooting and then poof, the phone goes off. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And do you remember the cemetery shot? We had one scene where the airplanes they stopped. We're like, oh my God, this is golden. We're gonna get the whole thing. Halfway through, the battery dies. We're like, so, yes, sir.
Hi, can you talk a little bit about some of the accessories that you used for the iPhone and like what equipment you used that would have been different from normal?
So starting off with the basic is, it's right next to the mic. We used a lot of his products. Smart Focus. Phil has this device where you can change and put interchangeable lenses on it, telefocus, wide angle, super wide angle. He also created a stabilizer that I used probably traditionally, because it was a lot easier for me to put it on that stabilizer and go rather than setting it up on, bring it over here, let me show it. As far as Belarus was concerned, and here's one of the main things I think we all know by now what it is. Belarus, they were lucky to have Sergey, and he's got a professional company. What's the name of the First Rental? First Rental, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So First Rental, they had full-blown studio equipment. The one behind the scenes you saw, that big crane, that was him. Other than that, just, everything was just iPhone. That was the main thing that carried this film. Aside from that was...
I think one of the coolest ones, and it turned out to be one of the simplest devices, is that it's very hard to get the interior of a police car. And we found Steve Kress, who has his police car, he rents it out to film companies and TV companies. And the iPhone rig was attached to a suction cup that you could put on the interior of the passenger side window, and with the focus lens and you put the fisheye lens in there, you could get every nook and cranny of that front cabin. And we got some really cool shots. I don't know if they made the final cut or not.
The opening credits, yeah, they did.
But especially in the still photos, the shots are very dynamic, and seeing how detailed everything is in his car. So, I mean, I like cranes and everything, but the fisheye thing.
Hank?
I have a question. What do you think about the possibility of this, as far as reaching out to a lot of the kids that can to do their own films and things of that nature? Do you think that there's much possibility in shooting on iPhone?
Last year when I was here, I thought I'm going to do something better, and I'm thinking this idea. I'm sure she's going to shoot me down on the idea, but like the ultimate goal of what we're doing, we're starting a revolution. Now imagine that everybody has an iPhone, everybody has a mobile device, and if we were all to contribute one way or another, start this community, and all of a sudden we make 30,000 people making a cinematography video or music or whatever. I want to start that, boundaries are no longer there. Mm-hmm. Filmmaking, you know, back in the days when I did it, you know, we were lucky when the Canon XL2s came out and it was shooting 24 frames per second. We're like, oh, great, now we have a foot in the door. But that was $5,000 camera back in those days. Now, everybody can show their talent. Is it going to push, you know, your Hollywood production away? I don't think so. But I think it's going to bring the bar up to say, well, look at what these guys are doing with mobile phones and what we're producing with, you know, our Panavisions.
Because I was shocked on how great it looked on the big screen.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
on the U.S. side. We haven't done a lot of color correction or anything. Once it's fully done, it's especially the ending shot where we used the Canon lens and we were focusing in and out. I looked at that. I sat back and said, "This wasn't shot on an iPhone," but I know it was because I was behind the camera. Yes.
I had a couple questions. One was what you edited the film on, and what additional plugins you used to fix any footage.
Okay. I can start on the U.S. side, and then I think the Belarus girls can talk about what they use for editing. For us, our editor William, who's actually since Wednesday, he's been sending me a cut. So he's been uploading. It's taking him, I think, 3 hours to upload the video. I was getting it at 4 a.m. I was downloading it, which took me 3 hours. We were reviewing it, and then he was re-editing. Up until this morning, that's exactly what we were doing. He used the Avid system. He also used Adobe Premiere with Red Giant. They gave us a lot of plugins. The looks, the denoiser really helped out because there was, and fairly inexpensive. You know, under a few $100s, you can take a shot that we needed light, but we didn't have it at that point, and it was very grainy. So you have this bad shot within, you know, under a couple of $100s. All of a sudden, you've got a great shot. Belarus, what did you guys use for editing?
We were editing in Adobe Premiere Pro.
Adobe Premiere. Mm-hmm. And I think France used Final Cut as well. So I think we've got a mixture of all different.
Did you guys use any for filming any Steadicam thing, any mini?
Well, the Steadicam is, Phil has this, the gadget. What is it called, Phil?
Rocksteady?
Yeah, so it's, because there is the Steadicam, and we use that, but the problem with the actual Steadicam it doesn't fit on this unit, right, or it doesn't balance it, but he created something that balances it. And I ended up using that more than the tripod because it was so, you know, I could set up within a second. A lot of those shots, like the police shot when you see it go up, that was, you know, I was using the old-fashioned crane, my legs, just lift it up and go. With that, it was, I used it a lot, actually, within the car. It was easier for me to just hold that steady and just, you know, anchor it on my leg or something than to set it up, because time was everything.
Right. And my final question was just about, you were talking about that you had hard drives on the set. So how would you get out of the iPhone into a hard drive to download that
I was using the basic and fastest way, which is through iPhotos. I
really?
Plug it in. Yeah, there is obvious, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say you're crazy, but I just needed something to go fast, and it's just drag and drop it. Once it's already there, then we would put it through our actual editing equipment.
Unbelievable.
So fairly simple stuff.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. Any other questions?
Lighting.
Yes?
Do you use professional lighting equipment?
Belarus had everything professional equipment. They had lighting. They had France had lighting. We were shy on lighting. Luckily, most of our shots were exterior shots, and they were day shots. Initially, there were going to be a lot of night shots, which I completely fought against because, you know, I know how delicate the iPhone is with lighting. So basic lighting on our part, Belarus and Mr. Sergey, they provided professional lighting. So lighting is important. So if you plan on shooting something on an iPhone, you either need a lot of lighting or work your best to do daytime shots. And if you do get into a situation where the lighting was limited, which we had, there's a lot of softwares like the Denoiser 2 through Red Giant, and I can't even remember what the price is on there, like under $100 or so. There's a lot. We're at a day and age where we don't need thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment and software to create a film. It's, if you've got the passion, if you've got the drive, it's all here. We all have it. You know, I'm sitting it right now. It's on my back pocket, and 2 weeks ago I was using it for filming. So, question?
Yeah, you know, this is actually my first time seeing an iPhone film festival, so I'm curious. It's what, your second year, right? So when you look to next year, what's your vision, and what do you think we'll see? Because I'll tell you, there were a lot of breakout sessions that were focusing on photography, and I was really surprised to come here and not really see anything focused on video.
You wanna? What are we gonna plan for next year?
I have no idea.
I want to probably mellow it down for next year and just keep it iPhone, but that's me talking today. I'm sure once departure is fully done, this mind's going to start going a million miles, and I'm going to get in contact with everybody. And Hank, I may bug you again.
That's okay.
We would like to continue this.
Yeah.
The second part or the third, or.
Well, departure is going to continue for sure. But the platform for iPhone filmmaking, when we started this 2 years ago or so, we had one film, then two, then three, and I thought, okay, well, that's about it. It was a gimmick. People did it, and it's done with. Because I think Nokia started strong, and we had the smartphone film festival, but then it died down. But with the iPhones, we're noticing year after year, it's getting better and better and better. Because now people are looking, we've got close to 1,000 films or so, and people are looking at it, and the quality is just getting better and better. So what do I envision from next year this time? I'm hoping it's a community where, you know, whether it's cinematography, like we followed the two couples' trip, their entire trip. We were physically there, even though we weren't. Or, you know, a music video that crayons and, you know, creativity. You took it and you created a music video out of it. So we're hoping next year it gets even better.
How much does that little device that you put on the iPhone cost?
Oh,
The lens on it? Yeah.
I mean, it's fairly inexpensive. What?
They start at $69.
Oh, it went even lower. So $69. I mean, it's, what has it got? The wide angle right now? Yeah, super wide angle, and he's got the telephoto lenses. And we use this traditionally. I think a lot of the shots what is it? Smart focus. And we use this traditionally. Without this, we would have gotten it. We've tried a couple of other lenses. It worked okay, but this one, you know, it's very durable. The one thing that I love about this product is you can control the power button. Like a lot of them, they cover everything up where you don't have access. But when you're on an exterior shot and you don't have external batteries or anything, draining batteries is everything. And when we're stopped and we're doing a retake, you want to power that battery as much as you can. Any other?
Hey, all I want to say, it was a hoot, and when Ruben contacted me about it, and we're going to do this and this, I'm like, really? How are you going to do that? And it says to wrap your mind around the whole concept, let alone shooting one iPhone film, but involving 3 teams globally, people you've never met. It's the first time meeting Maria and Lena. And, you see pictures, and you see the France team, and then it's like, wow, how is this all going to work? So, I mean, this is my first time seeing it in its entirety, and it's pretty exhilarating, and to see the potential of where it's going to go. So, I mean, I just want to thank Ruben for the opportunity of letting me be involved. And
likewise, too.
Yeah. Well, I said I was blessed to. I'm a talker, If I believe in something, and I don't lie. People say you would be a great salesperson, and I would if I believed in the product. And I believed in this project. And I didn't approach anybody until first I was 100%. Then it goes to Renata, make sure she's 100%, because partner and fiance, well, if she's not happy, I'm not going to get good food, and she's going to not work with me on our project. She does a lot of our editing, and she does a lot. So once we both agreed, then it was part of branching it out. The branching out, was it easy? It was easier because I knew that I was confident that we can do this. And then every time that I thought, well, maybe we're over our heads and some great people get involved, like Belarus decided to come in, we saw their days of shoot. On our Facebook account, I was constantly updating the behind the scenes to give everybody that motivation. Now, mind you, I've produced films, but to produce 3 films at the same time, shooting in November, getting ready to show it at Macworld, it's kind of nerve-wracking. There was many times that I didn't think it was going to happen. Hank, I mean, I felt bad. I think we got you rough footages in December. So here, you know, Hank is in the holidays working on our project. And we got it, I think, 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Yeah, so it's, when we got it to this point, and I feel bad that it wasn't fully done, but we had to show it. I've been on 2 hours sleep every day that I've been out here. We're here yesterday. Ashton Kutcher was talking, and Will.i.am, and I was listening to them, but my entire mind was back in the hotel, like, it's downloading. Is the download done yet? I just really wanted to go quick and see if it's done. So I think we're all blessed to have this team, and I don't think this team is going anywhere. I think we're starting a new revolution. This is history. What we just made here with everybody aboard is history. I don't think there is a single film that has 3 directors, 3 producers, 3 sets of actors, 3 sets of editors, and all working together as one unit. You know, there is no ego as to, I'm in charge, we all worked as a team. And where there was the weaknesses, we all helped each other. Belarus said, I can't do that blow-up scene. So I sent an email out to the team, who's capable of doing special effects. France said, yeah, our guy in Spain can. So it went to, so it's this community. And, you know, we've started it. Now it's a part of you guys and everybody who's going to see this months, years to come, to take what we've done historically, because we've created history today, and take it to the next level and say, yeah, well, we're going to do what they did because we can see how they did it. So we're blessed. As long as everybody stays along, I think our departure project, I think this is the beginning, and it's going to go a lot more than this.
So I did have a question about the conceptual process. And I guess, I mean, I've heard about how even with Belarus, you were about, what, 10 hours ahead of the West Coast, I think, in terms of time.
Yeah.
So how you're working with that. But are you swapping storyboards? Who's doing the storyboards? I know you've got like the script writer who's putting the story together, but are you sending storyboards to Belarus or vice versa? Or are you letting each team conceive their own section and then discuss it? I mean, I just find that's really kind of fascinating.
Each team,
because I'm going to just tell you, each segment had a different feel for me. So I just wanted to know how are you going to kind of stitch that together?
So there is the script, but then each team has its freedom to a certain extent as to what they envision. Because, you know, for me to have an idea to write a script and say, here's what I want it to look like, but Belarus may come and say, or France may come and say, well, that's not realistic. That's not how we do it here. You know, like a scene in the coffee shop. Maybe, you know, I maybe would picture it differently. And they would say, no, this is how they sit down and this is how they conduct business. So each team takes control of their project.
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
I actually do think that's a good thing because you are getting a sense of each culture or each country in that sense. I did have a question also for the music composer and supervisor. I kind of got a feeling, and maybe it's because I'm kind of dated, but because I really like the music, and you're saying it takes place in the 90s, but I was really feeling more of an 80s, late 70s kind of feel from that. Was that, what inspired you as you were looking at the footage? Or were you drawing upon?
It was kind of, well, for me it was just about wanting to keep the intensity together. So I really wasn't thinking genre or time or anything of that nature. I was just thinking, how do I keep the pressure on to give it some kind of like ominous that's there.
Because I thought it worked well. I was just like, what is this? Because I'm a Foxy Brown girl, so I was just kind of inspired by that. So I was wondering, were you inspired by that time?
I mean, I grew up on a lot of the black exploitation movies in the 70s, so I guess it kind of is going to always show. But I just basically wanted to keep I wanted to keep it suspenseful, so that you kind of like figuring out, well, what's going to happen next, kind of a thing.
Thank you.
No problem. And just to touch on that last part, the ending scene where Sasha, right, was walking with the dynamite, we spent a long time just talking about that scene. Hank really wanted to know what he was feeling, and first me and him had the conversation. I was like, you know what, I think it's best if our writer tells you exactly what he's going to be thinking, and like you think he's just talking about one person. Like if I was writing, I would say, oh, he's just walking down, you just play music and he's good. But Hank wanted like details. So when you look at it, you kind of feel like he's gonna kill himself, but if he doesn't kill himself, his family's gonna die. So it's a lose-lose situation, and he grasps that. And I think when you listen to the music, at that point where he just sits back and has that thought, it's not, and this is where everybody comes into play as a team, as a unit. One person out of this unit falls apart, you have no project. So if Hank didn't have that and we just had video, it wouldn't have worked. If we just had audio and not video, it wouldn't have worked. It's a unit. And the first thing you need to do is make sure you all work together and can trust, you're trusting everybody. And once you have that, you can do many things aside of, just a great film. And I think we're getting pretty close. Is there any other questions from anybody? No? Okay.
I'd like to thank Margarita Reyes and Jade.
Oh, yeah.
One of our EPs. She helped us find locations, and Jade did a fantastic job as a young Deanna, and it was just like kismet that she looked exactly like our adult Deanna.
Actually, Jade looked identical. Jade, you want to come up here, stand next to Renata for a second? When she came,
Total coincidence.
I was blown away on how identical they look. It looks literally the younger version of. So then the next question was she going to be able to pull off the accent? And I thought she did a brilliant job. So I looked at him like, Renata, is that your younger picture? When you sent the picture, I was blown away. So here's our semi of our cast. Yeah. All right. So I guess if you guys want to approach us and ask any questions, feel free. And I definitely look forward to seeing all of you and more coming next year. And the departure, this is the beginning, guys. Again, give us a couple of weeks. Let us finish up on the final sound engineering and the edits, get the scores in the proper place, and put the ending. You guys will admire it more. Thank you for dealing with all the issues that we had, but you guys are now a part of our team. You could say, well, we saw the rough cut when the audio wasn't perfect. You guys are it. So you are now part of the Departure family. So thanks, guys.